What's happening, NFL fans? Mitchell Renz, Chat Sports. And coming up here on today's show, I'm going to look into my crystal ball and tell you which teams are going to be the top teams in the NFC and which teams are going to be the top teams in the AFC. Now, the way that this show is going to work is I am going to go through all the division leaders and all the wild card teams for the AFC and the NFC and tell you what their overall record prediction is going to be at the end of the season. But first, let's start here in the AFC. The only team that has clinched a playoff spot, which I find just super wild, is Kansas City with 11-4 record. You got the Tennessee Titans, Cincinnati Bengals, and then the Buffalo Bills. So let's first start here with the Kansas City Chiefs, and let's walk through their overall record prediction here when you look at their final few games. And if you want to talk about a team that's been playing red hot, it's been the Chiefs. I mean, they absolutely kicked butt up against Pittsburgh this past week, winning 36-10. And now they got the Cincinnati Bengals. It is on the road. And then you got the Broncos. In terms of the Bengals game, I get it. They're 5-point favorites, and I liked what I saw this past week from Cincinnati. But give me the Chiefs in this game. I bet the over. The over in this one's 49.5 points. I'm taking the over. And then in their final game up against the Broncos, I'm taking them to win this one as well. A few weeks ago, I said the Chiefs are going to win out. They were, at the time, I believe, 5-4 or 6-4. I said they're going to win out. And I really, truly believe a team that was once 3-4 is going to win out, and they're going to have a 13-4 record while it's all said and done. Let's now look at the Tennessee Titans. They were able to take down the 49ers in a game where I thought San Francisco was going to win. Now you got Week 17 up against Miami. I have Tennessee losing this game because the Dolphins, a great defense right now, and if they don't have Derrick Henry, I just don't see it happening. Houston, they did beat the Chargers, but they're not going to beat the Tennessee Titans the final week in a game where you might actually see Derrick Henry in this one. So I have Tennessee finishing this season out with an 11-6 record. So if you guys could, if you haven't yet, you see that big old red button underneath this video? It should say subscribe. I want you to go ahead and hit that. That way you never miss anything from any of our channels, or I guess I should say any of our shows here at Chat Sports. Whether it's NFL, NBA, college football, we got you covered. And if you're wondering, Mitch, why the heck should I subscribe? Videos every single day. Think about how hard it is to get a video every single day on a channel. We're giving you basically two. Not only that, we're giving you live shows every week. We're interactive, so shout out to Cheryl, Gabe, Jacob, Mason, the Carolina guy. More subs equals more videos, and it's 100% free. Let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals here, where they took care of business up against the Ravens. Yet again, dropping 82 total points against Baltimore this year. Pretty crazy. Week 17, I kind of already gave this one away. Give me the Chiefs to win this one. And then Week 18 at the Browns. The Browns have had a lot of COVID issues. They've had some ups and some downs. Really thought this was going to be Cleveland's year, but unfortunately, it's not. Give me the Bengals to win this game, giving Cincinnati an overall record of 10-7, and they're going to end up winning their division. Let's go to the Buffalo Bills. Their next 3 weeks, they took care of business as predicted here on NFL Daily, up against the Patriots 33-21. Your next 2 weeks are the Atlanta Falcons. That's a win. And then Week 18, if they end up beating the Falcons and they end up beating the New York Jets, that's then going to take them to a pretty record and overall have them winning the AFC East. So, spoiler alert, I have the Bills winning the AFC East with an 11-6 overall record. I said this a few weeks ago. I'm going to keep doubling down because I think so far I'm doing a halfway decent job. What about the Indianapolis Colts here? This is a team that I like a lot. They're definitely at times difficult to be able to wrap my mind around, and when you think about the overall wild card teams, this right now, they are the number 5 seed. They took care of business up against the Cardinals. They play the Raiders this week. Y'all know I'm a Raider guy, but Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor, they have such a good running game. I just don't see the Raiders slowing them down with all the COVID issues that they have. And then Jacksonville, that's going to be another win here for the Indianapolis Colts, a team at one time that was 2-4, and I'm telling y'all right now, I would not, and I mean I would not, want to play Indianapolis in the playoffs with that running game. Now, out of all these teams that we're talking about, obviously AFC, NFC, I want you guys to try to predict who is going to be in the Super Bowl this year. Is it going to be the top teams like Chiefs and Packers? It might be. It's not the Super Bowl I want. If it was up to me, I obviously would want to see the Raiders in, but a most realistic Super Bowl that I could see ended up happening that I would like, the Bills and the Green Bay Packers. Wouldn't mind that one whatsoever. Let me know, though, down in the comments who plays in this year's Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and continue to look here at this AFC playoff picture. We just talked about the Indianapolis Colts with a 9-6 record. Let's also talk about the New England Patriots, who are sitting there at 9-6. Losers of their last 2 games. They lost to Indy. They lost to Buffalo. Are they going to lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars? No, they're not. Sorry, I tried to set it up. They're not going to lose to the Jags. And then Week 18 against Miami. The last time the Patriots played Miami, they lost 17-16. And this one was, guess what, in New England. I have them beating Miami this time around, which then gives them an 11-6 record. But because they lost to Buffalo and because they don't have the tiebreaker, they're not going to win the division. Let's go to Miami here their next 3 weeks. They took care of business on Monday Night Football against the Saints. I have them beating the Tennessee Titans, taking their win streak to 8, and then losing to the New England Patriots, giving them a final record of 9-8 on the season, which still, by the way, is absolutely incredible considering the fact that they were 1-7 at one time. Now, those are all the teams in the AFC, so let's go ahead and look at our projected AFC playoff picture, because once I did all the math for all these teams, I went ahead and I projected some other teams as well. This is what it ended up coming out. And yes, I have the Chargers winning their final 2 games, giving them a 10-7 record, propelling them over Miami, propelling them over Baltimore, who both finished 9-8. The Raiders lose their final 2 games, giving them an 8-9 record. So take a screenshot, take a good look at it. This is my projected AFC playoff picture. And the reason why the Titans are over Buffalo is because the Titans beat Buffalo earlier this season. Now, if anybody wants to bet on any of the NFL games this upcoming week, Week 18, one place to do it, one place only. That's at the link below, chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily. It's going to get you 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean? Put down $100, get $125 for free. Put down $200, get $250 for free. Imagine a world where you order a pizza, they give you a free pizza, and then they give you an extra 2 slices. That's how good of a deal this is. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily. All right, now let's look at the NFC side, where you got a lot of teams that have already clinched some playoff spots. Packers, Cowboys, Rams, BUCS, and the Cardinals. Now, the wild card, which we will get to, but we are first going to start here with the division leaders, the Green Bay Packers. They had a close game on Christmas, came out on top. The last time they played the Minnesota Vikings, they lost. I have Green Bay winning against Minnesota, and up against the Detroit Lions, they're going to win this one as well. Some people are like, well, if you're Green Bay, could you rest your starters? No. If you rest your starters and you lose a game and Dallas wins out, the Cowboys would actually have that tiebreaker over Green Bay. So if they want to have the number 1 seed in that first bye, if they win out, they got it, and they're going to get it. 14-3 record. Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys, the number 2 seed, and this was a memory eraser for Washington. Somebody called the Men in Black. But the Cowboys won 56-14. I have them beating Arizona. The Cardinals, ever since they lost DeAndre Hopkins, they look totally lost on the offensive side of the football. And then Week 18 up against Philadelphia. This is going to be a close game, a lot closer than I think a lot of people are going to give credit for. But I have Dallas winning out. They're playing solid football right now. I got to give them a lot of credit. Was really impressed by their performance last week. Cowboys going 13-4. Very well done. Let's go now to the Los Angeles Rams, who sitting there, they took care of business up against the Minnesota Vikings, and this week up against the Ravens. They're going to win this game. That's going to be 4 straight losses for Baltimore. And then for the San Francisco 49ers, I have them winning this game as well, giving the Los Angeles Rams a final record of 12-5. Go figure. You get them a good quarterback. Good for Matthew Stafford. I'm actually happy for the guy. What about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I hate when NFL schedulers do this. They play a team, and they play another team. As you guys can see, this is a very easy end of the season for Tampa Bay, for Tom Brady. Yes, they've lost a lot of key pieces. They're going to beat the Jets. Brady loves beating the Jets. And then in terms of Carolina, they're going to whoop on Carolina again. So for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they finish out with a 13-4 record also. When you really talk about the top teams in the NFC, I really truly believe it is a 4-way race for the top team. Now let's look at some of these wild card teams. The first team up is the Arizona Cardinals, at currently the 5 seed. They've already locked in their playoff spot. They lost to Indianapolis. I already spoiled it earlier that they lost to the Dallas Cowboys, or that they're going to lose to the Cowboys. And then Week 18 up against Seattle. Usually these type of games are weird. but I just don't see any chance that Seattle has at this point. So I'm going to take Arizona in that one, giving the Cardinals a final record of 11-6, which is very depressing because the first time I made this show, I said the Cardinals were going to finish 14-3, and they just haven't been playing very solid football of late. Now, what do y'all think? Who is the most overrated team in the playoff picture? So when you look at the 14 teams right now from the AFC and from the NFC that are in the playoffs that were to start today, which team do you personally believe is the most overrated? The team that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say is probably going to be the Arizona Cardinals because they've been struggling, but I might also say New England because I could see them falling off a little bit as it goes. So let's look at this NFC playoff picture. Now we're going to look at the 49ers. We're going to look at the Eagles, and this is where it really gets interesting because, again, there's only 2 spots left in the NFC compared to the AFC where that whole thing is wide open. When you look at the 49ers, I was thinking that they were going to be able to take care of business up against the Titans. This week, though, they have the Texans, and, hey, you can't take any games off. The Texans, they just beat the Chargers 41-29. I have San Francisco taking care of business against Davis Mills in Houston. However, I do have them losing the final game of the season up against the Los Angeles Rams, giving them a 9-8 overall total record, which then brings me to the Philadelphia Eagles. I actually had a really nice Eagles fan DM me 2 weeks ago. It said, Mitch, you're an effing idiot. And he didn't use effing. He said something else. And you're right, man. I was wrong on the Eagles. They've been playing better of late. They're going to beat the Giants. They're going to beat the Washington football team. Unfortunately, I do not see them beating the Dallas Cowboys. I've been impressed by Jalen Hurts. I'm probably going to owe producer Jeremy some money because we made a bet about Hurts and Derek Carr. But give me the Eagles to finish out their season with a final record of 9-8. Now, if you want to yell at me like that old Eagles fan did, hey, man, you can go ahead and do so. The DMs are open. If you want to see what I'm doing for New Year's, if you just want to see what the heck I'm doing in my daily life, remember, slide in my DMs, hit me up, give me a follow on Instagram, Mitchell Renz 365. All right, y'all, so as we walk through and we look at all these NFL teams, this is what I see being the final playoff prediction for the NFC. The Packers as the number 1 seed, they get that bye. Remember week 1, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they beat the Dallas Cowboys. They have the tiebreaker there. And then when you look at the 49ers and the Eagles, they're both going to finish 9-8. San Francisco beat Philly early on this season, which then gives them that advantage there. So overall, I have this being the NFC playoff picture. New Orleans was close. I just don't see them winning out. I think they're going to lose to Atlanta. If you disagree, remember, yell at me in the comments. Yell at me on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. So that was our AFC and that was our NFC playoff prediction video. If you made it this far in the video, hey, we got to be doing something halfway decent around here. Remember, we go live multiple times a week. Remember to hit that subscribe button and remember to turn on those notifications. That way you don't miss a thing.